Have you ever wondered where Africans originated according to the Bible? In the beginning, there was nothing. Then, in an act of divine creation, the universe was born. The Bible, in its opening chapter of Genesis, tells us that God created man and woman, Adam and Eve, in his own image. This sacred garden where humanity took its first breath is known as the Garden of Eden. The exact geographical location of Eden has been a subject of debate among scholars, historians, and theologians for centuries. Some interpretations suggest that Eden was situated in the Fertile Crescent of the Middle East, a region known today as Iraq. Others propose that it was nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. However, a fascinating theory that has gained traction over the years posits that the Garden of Eden was, in fact, in Africa. This conjecture is based on a careful reading of the biblical text, particularly the description of the 4 rivers flowing out of Eden. One of these rivers, the Gihon, is said to wind through the entire land of Cush, a region often associated with Africa in ancient texts. Moreover, archaeological evidence and genetic studies seem to support this theory. The earliest human fossils have been discovered in Africa, suggesting that the continent could very well be the cradle of humanity. Additionally, geneticists have concluded that all humans share a common ancestry that can be traced back to a single woman, often referred to as mitochondrial Eve, who lived in Africa around 200,000 years ago. So, if the Garden of Eden was in Africa, does that mean all humans, including Africans, originated there? Let's dig a little deeper. The Bible presents an interesting narrative about Noah and his sons, who are believed to be the progenitors of all human races. Let's delve into this. Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, each played a significant role in human history, at least according to religious texts. These 3 sons are often connected with the spread of humanity across the globe after the Great Flood. Shem is traditionally associated with the Semitic peoples, Japheth with the Indo-European, and Ham with African populations. Now let's turn our attention to a rather controversial episode known as the Curse of Ham. As the story goes, Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father Noah naked and drunk. Instead of covering his father's nudity, Ham told his brothers about it. When Noah awoke and learned what Ham had done, he cursed Canaan, Ham's son, saying, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brothers." Over the centuries, this curse of Ham has been interpreted in various ways. Some have linked it to the origin of the African race, suggesting that Africans are descendants of Ham and therefore bear the burden of this curse. This interpretation has been used historically to justify enslavement and discrimination against African people. However, it's vital to note that this interpretation is not universally accepted. Many scholars and theologians argue that the curse of Ham has been misinterpreted and misused. They point out that the Bible does not explicitly associate Ham's descendants with Africa. Additionally, the curse was actually placed on Canaan, not Ham. Therefore, linking the curse to all of Ham's descendants, let alone an entire continent, is a considerable stretch. This controversy reflects the complexity and diversity of interpretations when it comes to ancient texts. It also underscores the importance of careful and thoughtful interpretation, especially when such interpretations can have profound social and cultural implications. While some interpret the curse of Ham as the origin of Africans, it's important to remember that this is just one interpretation. Next, we turn to the Tower of Babel, an event that dramatically changed humanity's course. This intriguing tale from the Bible's book of Genesis offers an explanation for the world's linguistic and racial diversity. According to the story, people of the earth speaking one language decided to build a tower that would reach the heavens. They wanted to make a name for themselves, to prevent being scattered across the earth. However, this act of hubris didn't sit well with God. To thwart their plans, God confused their language, making it impossible for them to understand each other. This led to confusion and disagreement among the people, effectively halting the construction of the tower. Now, unable to communicate, people started to disperse, spreading out across the earth. This dispersion could have led to the formation of different races, as people adapted to different environments and conditions. It's possible that this event was a key factor in the formation of different races, including Africans. However, it's important to remember that this is a biblical interpretation, and there are multiple perspectives and theories about human diversity and the origin of races. Some scholars debate the literal interpretation of the Tower of Babel story, suggesting it might be more of a metaphorical tale. The Tower of Babel is another biblical event that could explain the origin of different races, but it's still a subject of debate. The Bible also mentions Africa and Africans numerous times, indicating their significant presence during biblical times. Let's delve into some of these instances. In the book of Acts, we encounter an Ethiopian eunuch, a high-ranking official in the court of the Ethiopian queen. This man's encounter with Philip the Apostle led to his conversion to Christianity, marking a crucial moment in the spread of the faith across Africa. Moses, known for leading the exodus of Israelites out of Egypt, was also connected to Africa through his Cushite wife. Cush, often identified with ancient Ethiopia, highlights another instance of African presence in biblical narratives. Then there's the famed Queen of Sheba, who journeyed to Jerusalem to test King Solomon's wisdom. This queen, believed to hail from modern-day Ethiopia or Yemen, is celebrated in Ethiopian tradition as the mother of Menelik I, the founder of Ethiopia's Solomonic dynasty. Not to forget Simon of Cyrene, an African man compelled to carry Jesus' cross, leaving an indelible African footprint in the heart of the Christian story. These references to Africa and Africans are more than mere footnotes. They form part of the rich tapestry of biblical history, highlighting the continent's significant role in shaping religious narratives and histories. The presence of Africans in the Bible underscores their significance in biblical history and the possibility of Africa being a cradle for humanity. The Bible offers several narratives that can be interpreted to explain the origin of Africans. We've traveled through the book of Genesis, exploring the idea that the Garden of Eden, the cradle of humankind, might have been located on the African continent. We've traced the lineage of Noah's son, Ham, who is traditionally associated with fathering the African nations. We've followed the story of the Tower of Babel, a moment that could represent the dispersion of people across the globe, including to Africa. Moreover, we've seen that the presence of Africans in the biblical narrative is undeniable, from the Queen of Sheba's visit to King Solomon to Simon of Cyrene's assistance to Jesus. These stories and others hint at the deep roots of African history intertwined with biblical events. While there are varying interpretations, one thing is clear: Africa holds a significant place in the biblical narrative of human history.
Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends who love history. Stay tuned for more history inspirational videos and tips. Thank you for watching.